Hello everyone, this is my presentation about education in Pakistan and job prospect. So let's start about this background and about the background. Pakistan was a successful country when it comes about the education. From the time of Muhammad bin Qasim to the Mughal Emperor Humayun, educational institutions were completely free in their internal affairs and administration. Teachers were autonomous and there were a great support from the state and public. After then, there were several events during the Mughal Empire. For example, Sultan Sikandar Lodi made education compulsory to a certain level and declared Persian to official language. Emperor Akbar moved away from the religion base, having a more flexibility policy. Emperor Aurangzeb made education reach to small towns and villages. And even a high-ranking British official, General Sir William Sleeman, wrote, "Perhaps there are few communities in the world among whom education is more generally diffused than among Muhammadans in India. He who holds an office worth 20 rupees a month commonly gives his son an education equal to that of a prime minister. They learn through the medium of Arabic and Persian language what young men in our college British learn through those of the Greek and Latin, that is grammar, rhetoric, and logic. After his 7 years of study, the young Muhammadan binds his turban upon a head almost as well filled with things which appertain to these branches of knowledge as the young men from Oxford. He will talk as fluently about Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, and Hippocrates. He has learned that what are those which he most requires through life. He therefore thinks himself as well fitted to fill the big offices which are not filled exclusively by Europeans." So this statement shows that Pakistan and India had a really advanced education. However, after the decline of the Mughal Empire, the Europeans were in charge of education. That led to conflict about religion, and as we can see, the British Crown started creating different classes, high classes and low classes, for education. English was a key point to consider someone intellectual and with knowledge. That led to more conflict, lack of equality, and eventually more people preferring to work by themselves instead of studying. Here we have a table about right now about the how much how much the government is considering education in their government. We can see that in 8 years there is uh, 2 million, 2% of the GDP from education to 1.7%. Also, we can see that Pakistan is getting farther from his neighbors about key education indicators. And finally, here we can see some distribution of employment by economic sector from 2009 and to 2000 to 2019. We can see that during a long time, Pakistan people prefer working in agriculture with an exception in 2018 and 2018, which surpassed these numbers. Well, much has been said about the poor quality of education and low personal skills, the attitude and poor communication skills of those who complete their graduation. Even the graduate holders in IT and engineering are being reported to be jobless due to their poor command over English language. In Pakistan, as compared to applied science. The scope and chances of getting a job for a social science graduate are not bright. The market value for the social science graduate is quite low. There seems to be discrepancy between the general output and ability of social science graduate in different specialization and the absorptive capacity of the labor market and employers' expectation. As a result, then employment and underemployment becomes the fate of social science graduate. It is important that the government could invest more in teaching in English for their people and technology. And Pakistan would be able to work across the world with these three factors. Of course, this is a simplistic solution for a serious challenge. It would be required to analyze each region, politics, opportunities, and threats, and so on. But basically, this is a general rule. Thanks. This is my job. This is my work for education in Pakistan.